Hi, I'm Matthew Fresco, and this is Waterloo Station, London's magnificent and busiest station. Of all the millions and millions of people that travel through here every day, I wonder how many know that just below us, just underneath our feet, is a place where you can go and do graffiti legally. Let me show you how. Come with me. So welcome to the Leake Street Arches. Normally, graffiti is illegal, but we're here somewhere today where it's not only sort of kind of legal, it's actually encouraged. Hi, I'm Matthew's video editor, and as you can probably tell, the sound on this video is really very bad indeed, and I apologise. To be fair, poor old Matt is wittering away in front of the camera. Meanwhile, he's actually beneath Waterloo Station. There are trains literally running every few minutes above his head. He is doing his best. I know it's not great. If you happen to be one of those clever kind of people who knows how to record sound properly, please let me know in the comments below. Anyway, back to the video. This is the Leake Street Arches, hidden away underneath Waterloo train station. There are many places in London where street art isn't legal, but it is tolerated. Famous artists come from all over the world to deface the streets of London. Banksy, probably the most famous of them all, has left his mark all over London. ROA painted a huge crane on Hanbury Street. Stick did a couple holding hands on Brick Lane, which was voted Britain's favourite piece of art in 2017. You can see works by Rika and Mad Sea and Shepherd Fairy on Chant Street. You can take guided tours. London streets are basically an art gallery. Whether they are works of art or mindless vandalism, they are criminal acts. The artists normally risk prosecution. Graffiti is a criminal offence under Section 1.1 of the Criminal Damage Act of 1971. A person who without lawful excuse destroys or damages any property belonging to another, intending to destroy or damage any such property, or being reckless as to whether any such property would be destroyed or damaged, shall be guilty of an offence. The offence is triable either way under paragraph 29, Schedule 1 of the Magistrates' Court Act 1980, and the maximum penalty is 10 years in prison under Section 4 of the Criminal Damage Act 1971. In the UK, we realised ages ago that vandalism can sometimes be art. In the real world, no one is going to arrest Banksy. If he scribbles on a wall, he's not going to prison. His work is worth a fortune, and it'll either be covered in plexiglass or sold to the highest bidder for a small fortune. Basquiat or Banksy sell at auction for tens of millions of pounds and hang in art galleries across the globe. But if you or I do it, then we really do face the risk of prosecution. So not all graffiti is a crime, but most of it is. Times have moved on, and these days councils and the police have experts to call on to decide if a bit of graffiti is art or vandalism. I had a case a few years ago where a kid was caught red-handed daubing on a wall. At court, I argued it was art, so they called an expert to give evidence for the prosecution, and he said it was nothing more than an ugly and poorly executed tag sprayed by an ignorant delinquent. He was right, of course he was. But I put it to you, sir, that Vincent van Gogh was not recognised in his lifetime. Was El Greco laughed at by his peers, but hangs now in the most auspicious art galleries of the world? Sir, would you have called Gauguin or Toulouse-Lautrec degenerate and heartless? Anyway, the client, of course, was found guilty. It was an ugly and poorly executed tag drawn by an artless delinquent. But But he only got a small fine, and in most cases that would be about right. Graffiti is not punished heavily. Normally it's a small fine. It may not be a serious crime, but it's still a criminal offence that goes on your record. Graffiti is sometimes vandalism, of course it is. I don't want a tag on the wall of my house. But when it's done by an artist, it can bring in tourists and make an area look way more jolly and bright. Just look at this place. The need to draw on walls or write your name on a building is almost like a basic human instinct. The workmen who built the Great Pyramids of Giza scribbled their names all over it. The Romans left really rude Latin all over Pompeii. Napoleon, even Lord Byron, left their marks across Europe. In 1850, the French novelist Gustave Flaubert wrote to his uncle about imbeciles ruining buildings, including a certain Mr. Thompson of Sunderland, who has inscribed his name in letters 6 feet high on Pompeii's column. US GIs left Kilroy was here inscribed just about everywhere, from the Arc de Triomphe in Paris to the Marco Polo Bridge in China. In Egypt, one graffiti artist got a $20,000 fine and a year in prison. In India, another one got a $1,000 fine and 2 years inside. The maximum sentence here in England and Wales is 10 years, and we do prosecute people. In 2017, a chap went to prison for 4 months for defacing a statue in York. But fines and even prison sentences are never going to stop people writing on walls. So sensible cities have a graffiti spot where it's illegal but tolerated. I told you we're underneath Waterloo Station. But fines and even prison sentences are never actually going to stop people writing on walls. So sensible cities have a graffiti spot where it's either legal or tolerated. There's Hosier Street in Australia, Peel Street in Poland. There are many all over the world. There are over 500 graffiti spots in the UK, which make Britain both the most graffiti-friendly country in the world and the country with the longest maximum prison sentence. Compare that to the States, though. There are none in Michigan, Illinois, or Wisconsin. There are only 3 in California. Sure, New York has 5 points on Long Island, but you have to apply, submit a proposal, and wait for permission, and that's not really graffiti. It's not street art. Even China has graffiti spots. Fighting Towers 5, 10, and 14 on the Great Wall of China are free graffiti zones. If you give people places to do it legally, it should, in theory, stop them damaging historic sites, local shops, walls, buildings. And in cities across the world, it appears to be working. I just took a look around Waterloo, and there does seem to be way less aerosol art than around most other stations. And it saves money too. The city of Portland in Oregon spent $5 million last year just on removing graffiti. Chicago banned the sale of spray paint altogether. This tunnel isn't unique, but it is special. It's a special place I'm really beginning to treasure. I only found out about this place about a month ago. It's a hidden gem. It's brilliant. And it's huge. Over 300 meters long, and I think that makes it the biggest in the world. It's open to everyone. It's sort of kind of legal, and it's fun. Well, I say legal. The tunnel is owned by the local council, but it's been leased by National Rail, and they own the station above us, so you could, in theory, be arrested. If you painted the walls, you are intentionally damaging property belonging to another. In this case, the another is the owner. The owner is National Rail, but they want you to do it. So it would be almost impossible to prosecute. Although, it does beg the question, if I paint over a Banksy, could he prosecute me? This tunnel is named after Dr. John Leake, who set up one of the world's first maternity hospitals just near here in the 18th century. Later, it was used by wine merchants. In 1962, robbers dug a hole in the wall just over there and stole £7,000 worth of wine. That's around £150,000 worth in today's money. The wine obviously went somewhere safer, and then the arches were abandoned to druggies and gangsters, and it was pretty much forgotten. Then, in 2008, Banksy had an exhibition here and invited artists from across the globe to create murals. It was a huge success, and people have been coming here ever since. At the time, Banksy said he wanted to transform a dark, filthy pit into an oasis of beautiful art. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Banksy. Just look around you. It is indeed an oasis of beautiful art. Well, mostly. Right here in the tunnel, you can eat at a really good Polish restaurant. There's a Pan-Asian place that I'm dying to try. There's a theatre, jazz night, immersive dinner experiences. There's a football zone over there today. There's a games cafe. You can get a drink in a really cool Philadelphia-style sports bar. And everyone knows it's always sunny in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia! Philadelphia! Philadelphia!
Yeah! You can eat and drink and play all while watching artists, amateurs, tourists, children, and yes, even ugly and poorly educated tags sprayed by an ignorant delinquent. It might be art, it might be rubbish, but it's all perfectly, nearly sort of legal. This was all probably best summarised by an anonymous Arab more than 1,000 years ago. He carved this onto the walls of Palmyra in modern-day Syria. This is an inscription that I wrote with my own hand. My hand will wear out, but the inscription will remain. So I guess there's only one thing left to do.